So here's a fun question. What is a significant learning that you've had as a result of a painful misstep?
That I'm a business owner as far as like as an entrepreneur, like as an artist. So my whole like I'm gonna say like from the moment it took me, I think from going like I'm going to be a sculptor, I'm gonna make metal art, to when I got full time, like my first day of full time being a sculptor, I think was approximately 7 years. So as full time, like from zero to I'm gonna say 100. That entire time, it was all about, excuse me, learning how to weld and teaching myself how to make art, which I still had no friggin' clue, and I literally was just googling it and like
Wow.
figuring it out. Had saved up money, had quit my full time job, was literally just like happily just welding away, 7 days a week. At that time it was 16 to 18 hours a day, happily.
Mm-hmm.
Fell flat on my face hard. I had saved up money, cashed in my 401k, took out a personal loan. Thought I had this nice little nest egg that would last me. I figure a year, if I 6 months to a year, if I don't sell anything, I'm good. I did not hardly sell anything. I had about $35 left in the bank and was just so scared. Now, I'd left my job really well. I gave him a month notice. I trained my replacement. Only person in the history of this company that they gave a retirement party to that didn't physically retire. Like, I went out with love then, and I could have gone back at any time and been like, please, so may I have my job back?
Yeah.
Could have gone back, but it was zero option for me. There was no plan B. It was completely and utterly it's success or death. And I didn't understand that I was running a business. I'm not a stupid person, but I sure as shit, like, definitely was just like looking back, I'm like, oh my God, what are you thinking? But it was all about making art for me. I didn't understand sales. I didn't understand branding. I didn't understand marketing, any of that. And literally had $35 left in the bank, had gone back into depression, was just creating from fear. There was zero love into what I was making. Sorry, people. The truth is the truth. Happened to just weirdly go to this show down the road from me, New York State Chainsaw Carving Championship. I paid $50 for a booth. It was my second or third show ever that I'd ever done. Like, I like post a little bit here and there on social media, but I effing hated salesmen. I only understood the greasy car salesman, which is horrible, when literally your entire business depends on half on creating and then half on selling. Like, you've got to do both. And so saw this guy creating a chainsaw carving sculpture with a chainsaw. Amazing. Look it up, people. Holy crap. Chainsaw sculptors. I watched him, like, he's carving and he's got the smoke's billowing out of the chainsaws. I can smell the gas and oil. I told you, anything with motors, two-stroke, and I'm just like, woo, just loving it. But he's creating this sculpture and he's got the headphones on, got the music going. He can see, and there's a whole bunch of people all doing this at once, but I just happened to catch him. Sexy. Judge me if you want, whatever. They all sexy. Oh my God. I watched him take a step back and have this moment with his art that is a very private moment that if you've ever created anything like this should resonate with you. I watched him take a step back and nod at what he had done. And it's just like that, like, fuck yeah, I made that. Like, just this moment of just, it's that moment of inner pride that we get when we create. And it's just something, that's what pulled me from depression, was that right there, of that creating and that doing. And like, yeah, I did that. Like, I watched him have this moment that I normally have very privately in my shop. And it flipped a switch in me. And I realized, like, silly girl, like, you are not here to make money. You're here to make art. Fuck the money. Like, with all due respect, like, forget about the money. And I had been for like months, just like so much fear around it. I was creating, but I wasn't trying to sell because I do what I call a soft sell. Put a picture of it on Facebook and just be like, hey, here's Luna. She's cool. Maybe a quote. And then down underneath it, I'm just like, oh, she's available. Here's a link. I just have never I had bad experience with a couple salesmen. It was like that greasy car salesman, and so I didn't know who Zig Ziglar was at the time. If you want to be good at sales, look up
Yeah.
Zig Ziglar because
Oh,
he's all
yeah.
about selling with honor. He changed everything for me. But also at that show, so met a couple people. They took me to a bunch of different chainsaw carving events in my family now. I love my chainsaw carving family. But started like went back into my shop, started creating from love, which allowed me to create so much, like my stuff was so much better. Just a different vibe, but also started studying sales because I started realizing that I just a whole bunch of stuff clicked. And as I was doing these shows, I watched people, like, because I was setting up and doing these booths now all the time. They got me into shows for free. They got me to be able to stay at places for free. But really started going to work selling and sales. And so every moment that I wasn't in the shop, which I'm already working 7 days a week,
Right.
started studying Zig Ziglar and started learning about sales and branding and marketing. I started studying social media and how I could grow my social media following. And just kind of, baby step by baby step, like I started putting money back into the bank, which was scary as shit. And, it definitely, it's a process. But like literally, like looking back, I'm like, how do you not know that you have to sell?
Always in hindsight. Yep.
I swear I know stuff. Like, but yeah, just literally like, and I think that's why we have, like, my belief is that's why we have the starving artist term, which it is my happy mission to eradicate that term from the earth. I can't believe that it's a term, but also they don't teach sales in art school. Thank God I'm not, like, with all due respect to all you classically trained artists or whatever you call it when you go to school for art, I'm so damn grateful I didn't. I feel like I have friends that are artists that literally just go for grants all the time because I think that's what they're seeing and what they're taught. And there's other ways. There's other ways. I have one of my books called Honor Thy Art, literally shows step by step how I went from being a starving artist to I've worked with clients in 15 different countries and counting. I have like consistent, just, oh my gosh, passive income. People look up passive income. If you don't look up anything else, like look up the passive income. That's where I literally, like, that's where, like, you go up, like you're pushing that boulder up the hill and you're pushing it, and all of a sudden you finally reach the top. Passive income. That's where it just starts snowballing. It's crazy.